Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and a while back I did a top 10 favorite John Carpenter movies video. John Carpenter is one of my, well, he's actually my number one favorite director of all time, so I figured I had to do some kind of tribute to him. And I figured, it's the time's right, I probably should go ahead and do a Wes Craven video as well. Unfortunately, Tobe Hooper passed away about a week ago. I'm sure you guys already knew that. I made a rest in peace video. And I talked about my top 5 favorite Tobe Hooper films. So I've already covered that, but I might actually redo that video because I feel like there's some films I missed and I didn't really talk about them as much as I wanted to. It was mostly just like a rest in peace video, not really a full top 5. So I might redo that video. Maybe even make it a top 10, perhaps. There's a few movies I forgot to mention, like Life Force and a couple others, and so I might go ahead and redo a Tobe Hooper top 5 video. But yeah, tonight I'm going to do a Wes Craven top 5. As you can see, I'm watching Friday the 13th, the original, the very first Friday the 13th movie. Pamela Voorhees is about to come after Alice, but, she's going to end up being beheaded, so that sucks, but, oh well, she tried. Anyway, okay, let's go and get started. Top 5 favorite Wes Craven movies. If I missed any, or if you guys disagree with this list, go ahead and leave your own list in the comments below. It's all objective. It's all a matter of opinion. My list is probably going to differ from yours. I might leave some of your favorite entries out, but let's go ahead and get started. Number 5, I think, would have to be The Serpent and the Rainbow. Now, this movie is very well done. Definitely one of Craven's best. It's very effective. It's very sophisticated. Has a great storyline. Has some great atmosphere. It stars Bill Pullman. And this is kind of, I consider this a different type of zombie movie. It's not like really the zombies that fit the typical format of, post-apocalyptic, plucky band of survivors fighting back with boards with nails in them and, barbed wire wrapped around baseball bats and stuff like that. And, they're driving around trying to avoid the zombie plague that's going on. It's not even like, Return of the Living Dead or Reanimator either. It's a very, realistic look at the voodoo zombies. We hardly ever have movies about, zombies that are created with, black magic and stuff like that. It's usually science. It's usually, radiation fallout or, some kind of chemicals or a lab accident or, something like that. This one is voodoo zombie. That's what zombies originally came from. The word zombie was always associated with voodoo before, George A. Romero and people like that came along. Very well done movie. It's not, wildly entertaining. Your eyes aren't going to be glued to the screen. I don't think it's not, really fun and amusing. It's more of a deep and compelling, in-depth horror movie. It's one that's going to really move you. You're going to find it very compelling and insightful. You'll be a better person after watching this. So check it out. The Serpent and the Rainbow, my 5th favorite Wes Craven film. Next would be The People Under the Stairs. And now this movie's completely different from The Serpent and the Rainbow. It actually takes a pretty terrifying, pretty brutal, pretty depressing, realistic premise of child kidnapping and abuse and all that, but it takes it in a totally wacky comedic direction. There's a group of poor people who live in this ghetto neighborhood, and they try to break into the house of their landlords. It's a crazy, huge mansion, labyrinthine house, all kinds of secret passageways and tunnels and stuff, and hidden doorways and places behind the walls, and they kidnap all these kids and they raise them. There's people under the stairs, essentially. There's all kinds of people who are starved and malnourished and haven't seen the sun in so long. They're pale, they have long nails and long hair, and they've been abused. And yeah, as I said, it's pretty disturbing storyline, but this movie's like a freaking Tom and Jerry cartoon. It reminds me of the Three Stooges episode. It's mostly filled with slapstick comedy and all kinds of hilarious gags. The two lead villains, played by Everett McGill, who's the man. I think they're actually brother and sister, and some kind of incestuous thing. And I think it's Wendy Roby who plays the mother. Maybe, pretty sure that's her. But yeah, they're just hilarious. Everett McGill is really fun. I think the only other horror movie I've seen him in is Silver Bullet, where he played the Reverend, who actually turns out to be the werewolf. Oh, I spoiled it for you, sorry. But you've already seen all these movies, come on. If you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this movie's just hilarious. It's wow. Gosh, those are the funniest lines, especially from Everett McGill. And the little boy, Fool, he's pretty funny too. And then there's some characters, the abused kids that they keep prisoner in their house. I don't know how they the authorities didn't find this out further. All the missing kids are there, like, imprisoned in this huge house, and, like, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's really funny. They could have taken it seriously, and it could have been, like, really scary and really effective, but it just takes a totally comedic and silly, cartoonish direction. I love this movie. I've reviewed this one individually, too, so check that out if you haven't already. Number 3, and it got kind of hard. When it came down to the top 3, the nitty-gritty, was kind of hard. I wasn't completely sure what order to put them in, but I think I'll go with Last House on the Left. Now, this is the original from 1972, obviously. Wes Craven, one of his... Actually, the first movie, the first full-length feature film directed by Wes Craven, and I think it's very good. I reviewed this not too long ago, so check out my review if you haven't already. This is the unrated version, which I'd recommend. Has a lot more uncut scenes and stuff. Yeah, it's a young girl and her friend who are kidnapped by a group of thugs who rape them and torture them and abuse them in several ways. It's very graphic. It's very shocking. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's definitely not for people who are offended by this sort of thing, so don't watch it if that's not what you're into, for sure. Yeah, very disturbing, very brutal. It's a realistic depiction of graphic violence and, really brutally severe torture scenes. And the lead villain, Krug, Steo, played by David Hess, I couldn't think of his name. He also played a similar character in House on the Edge of the Park, directed by Ruggero Deodato, who did Cannibal Holocaust. He plays an amazing villain. He's so realistic. You really believe that he's a horrible, sleazy lowlife who likes to, likes to terrorize people. Yeah, very good acting there. There's a few downsides. I think the parents of the girl who they killed, they end up getting their revenge, which is a cool premise. I love seeing the bad guy, the tables getting turned, and the bad guys getting their just desserts. But the acting from the parents wasn't that good. There's also some really, really silly, over-the-top scenes. There's a subplot of these two bumbling idiot cops who are like the comic relief. There's a scene with this old lady and her truck full of chickens and all this silly stuff. It plays a silly clown music, and it really takes me out of the movie. One minute it's like a really shocking and really effective, brutal film that's that's really realistic and really disturbing, and then one minute I'm like laughing at how silly and stupid it is. It's just like, yeah, it's the tunes all over the place. That kind of takes it a little bit down for me, but it's still a really, really good movie. Definitely my number 3. Number 2, definitely have to be The Hills Have Eyes. This was another one of his earlier films. I think this was his second after Last House on the Left. Well, no, there might have been a few like in between, but probably the second like full length or whatever. Well-known horror film. This movie's really good. It's a family gets stranded by the desert. In the middle of the desert, and they are terrorized by these cannibalistic family. It was based on the true story of the Sawney Bean clan. Look that up for more information. Yeah, one of the main, Michael Berryman plays one of the cannibals. Michael Berryman's always good. I like him a lot. He's in a lot of horror movies. He's a really nice guy in real life, too. He plays Pluto. Yeah, they're all named after planets. Pluto, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, who's the father, who's the leader. Yeah, the cannibalistic clan are really good. They're really brutal. Yeah, they put the families in hell. And the family fights back. They get revenge against their captors who are trying to kill them and eat them. So that was definitely good. They have a lot of that in Wes Craven movies. The bad guy gets their just desserts a lot. That happens a lot. So yeah, Hills of Eyes is excellent. I recommend it. I've reviewed this one too. Check it out if you haven't already. It's very, very good. I love it a lot. Jason's about to pop out the water. Oh yeah. But yeah, we're running out of time. Let's go ahead and move on to the number 1 spot. But first, a few honorable mentions. Shocker. I thought this movie could have been a lot better. He tried to create another Freddy Krueger, but didn't really work very well. Oh, there's Jason. He got her. Anyway, yeah. Shocker. Had a great premise, but it could have been executed way better. I thought this movie had a lot of potential. Horace Pinker, played by Mitch Pileggi, was a great villain, but the rest of the movie is kind of meh. New Nightmare, of course, one of the better Freddy movies, and the only other one directed by Wes Craven. Red Eye, which one of his newer movies, I thought it was pretty good. Cillian Murphy plays a great villain. He was awesome as Scarecrow in Batman Begins. And I even like Scream. I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with the movie. It kind of started the whole trend of the watered-down, more PG-13 feel. It's rated R, but it feels like PG-13 of like modern-day slashers, but still pretty good. And I think it's pretty cool the killers were like inspired by horror movies. They watch way too many horror movies and start killing people. No, it's not me doing it. I know I've probably seen more horror movies than they have even, but It's okay. I mean, it's not like one of my favorites, but I appreciate for what it did for the horror genre. It's definitely one of Wes Craven's better work, I'd say. I still have like my problems with the movie, but anyway, we'll get to that in another video. The number one spot, of course, has to be Nightmare on Elm Street. Was there ever any doubt? The 1984 classic. A few more honorable mentions would be Swamp Thing, Deadly Blessing, Deadly Friend. I have all those on VHS over there. I don't feel like digging them out. But yeah, anyway. Number one, Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie's excellent. Robert Englund rules as Freddy. Heather Langenkamp's a very effective and very believable lead who you really feel sorry for her. You really feel for her character. She plays Nancy, and she's great. The character of the mother, the alcoholic mother, played by Ronnie Blakely, kind of ruins it. She doesn't believe her daughter by the end of the day. Even when she pulls a hat out of her own dream, she still doesn't believe her daughter. And her daughter knows Freddy Krueger's name, the guy that the homicidal maniac, child killer that she helped to burn alive like all those years ago. Like, she still doesn't believe her. Isn't there something weird going on? And then, all the kids are killing their dreams. I think this one, the dream sequences weren't quite as creative or as intricate as some of the sequels, but Freddy was definitely the scariest here. He was kept in the shadows most of the time. He was very eerie. He wasn't a wisecracking prankster comedian like he'd be in later sequels. He was actually very, very freaking scary. And Robert Englund played him perfectly. The scene with the long arms, the scene coming out of the wall. It hardly ever shows his face in a really clear, well-lit shot, which I think definitely added to the suspense factor immensely. But yeah, I do have, aside from the alcoholic mother, this movie's pretty much flawless. I mean, it's perfect. It's a great horror film. It's the best Freddy film by far. Part 3, Dream Wars, is kind of my personal favorite, but this movie definitely is technically better. It's technically the best. It's very well written, very well directed, very well acted, very believable. And what an interesting premise. So creative, so groundbreaking. It's just so, wow. It's a little more psychological than, Jason and Myers and Leatherface. I mean, there's no escape from Freddy. You have to sleep sometime, and insomnia just sucks, so you gotta fall asleep sometime. And Freddy's gonna come get you, so... Yeah, this movie started one of the greatest horror villains to ever grace the big screen, and, we'd seen him in so many sequels, but this is the one that started it all, and this is the best of the bunch. It even has Johnny Depp in his first starring role, so... A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think, oh, Edward Scissorhands, what's he in Gilbert Grape? No. His first movie was Nightmare on freaking Elm Street. So check that out if you haven't already. Those would be my top 5 Wes Craven movies. If you disagree with my list, sorry, leave your comments in the below. We can't agree on everything. Some honorable mentions, some other Wes Craven movies to check out. I know there's way more than this. I don't own all his movies, unfortunately. As I said, also Swamp Thing's pretty good. I always liked that movie. It's like one of my personal favorites. It's very nostalgic. Deadly Blessing, Deadly Friend, a few others. I'm sure I'm missing one. Even Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. But yeah, Wes Craven's great. So sad that he's no longer with us. Or rest in peace once again. Lost all these horror icons lately. Tobe Hooper's gone, Wes Craven's gone, George Romero's gone. Thank God John Carpenter's still with us. He's my favorite, but those were like the big 4 of American horror directors. Alright guys, well, next time you see me, I'd like to start talking about some Italian horror. I know we've talked about it for a long time, but I really need to get some Italian horror now. Some Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento, Umberto Bava, Umberto Lenzi, Ruggero Deodato, hell yeah, all of it. Mario Bava. There's so many more. Michelle Sovi. I'm not even going to pretend like I pronounced all his names right, by the way, but yeah, they're great. Long live Wes Craven. Rest in peace. His legacy will live on. He'll never be forgotten. He was one of the all-time horror greats. Legendary director, and these movies are a testament to what a genius he was. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound, and until next time.